Welcome, welcome. I am here sitting right now with Kris Hamilton, one of our directors at Titus Talent Strategies, and our guest, Ken Dugan. And I'm going to let Ken introduce himself in a minute here, but he is the Director of Talent Acquisition for Discovery Behavioral Health in San Diego, California. It is a great honor to have Ken with us. He is passionate. You're going to get a pick up on his energy and his vision for talent and talent acquisition in a few seconds here. You are a part of our series on Talent Talks. We're on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, LinkedIn. You see us wherever there's any kind of a social media button. We are there. And this is our give back and give back into the knowledge share world where we are a community together, working out life, working out talent acquisition, working out the whole amazing and fascinating world of people in the workplace. So Ken, welcome to Talent Talks. Tell us a little about yourself, and we got some questions for you, and over to you, man.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jonathan. Well, yes, my name is Ken Dugan, and I'm Director of Talent Acquisition for Discovery Behavioral Health. And I've been doing that for just over a year now. And before that, I was with a much larger behavioral healthcare corporation called Acadia Healthcare out in Nashville, Tennessee. So been moving around a little bit. And yeah, I've got most of my talent acquisition practice working with great companies, leaders in their industry. First was with HCA, which is one of the largest hospital corporations in the United States. And I really got, like a boot camp there. I was doing everything from onboarding to creating the offers, doing the offers, sourcing, everything, full cycle all the way across. And I really got a good understanding of what what it takes for $1 billion talent acquisition program to work within a company like that, and just kind of started learning. And then I was asked to go to Acadia Healthcare and take everything I learned and build out a talent acquisition strategy for one of their new acquisitions, which was just a pleasure to be a part of, and was able to, launch their, success and work with some great executives along with my peers to make that all happen. And that's what led me to Discovery Behavioral Health. They reached out to me and said, "Hey, we liked what you're doing there. Come work for us, and we'd love to have you." So been doing it for a while, passionate about it, and really looking forward to the future of the industry and what can be accomplished.
Love it.
Oh,
So
that's awesome. That's awesome. That is what we call an achiever pattern, where you're going from HCA to Acadia and now Discovery Behavioral Health. You're just kind of up in your career, and we love that. Now, that's one of the reasons that we are so excited to have you on the show, because we thought, okay, if anybody has experience that you've done it from, soup to nuts, I mean, the whole entire process, you've run a full desk within healthcare. It's like, okay, what are some of the gems that you can give us that we can give, the audience? And one of the first questions I wanted to ask you, Ken, is that when you're trying to find, the best talent, what are some of the best practices that you're using to attract top talent to your organization right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that I first tackle is interview, because when you interview somebody, you are setting the stage of excellence, not only for your company, but also for the candidate. And so I like to call it creating a bond of excellence with the candidate. So if you've got a really good candidate, you typically know you've got a good one within the first 30 seconds of the call. And so what I try to do, or what recruiters who are recruiting teams that stand out do, is they really capitalize on it, and they set those exceptional expectations right at the get-go, and start to create a bond of excellence between you and the candidate, which ultimately draws them in, because lots of times they're interviewing with other people, and you want your company to stand out in their mind. So, for example, when I'm interviewing somebody I know is going to be really good, I let them know that, leadership is really important to us, because we know that even if you've been a leader for a long time, and you've been doing it for a while, that doesn't make you a good leader. And so I always ask, that it's important that our leaders understand that there's a balance between holding your team accountable and growing your team and mentoring. And it's a fine balance. And not everybody can do it, especially, at this level. So how do you go about managing that kind of an expectation? And that does a few things. That lets them know that we care about those things. And somebody who's really great at their job is going to say, I love this. This is how I tackle that expectation. And you end up getting all this valuable, most of the time passionate information that just lets you know that, wow, this person is exactly what we're looking for, or it's kind of a flat answer. They don't really get it.
Great. That's great. With this, I love that phrase, bond of excellence. Give us some examples of how you kind of put in sort of the special ingredients into the experience? Because I think we're talking about experience, right? The candidate experience. What are some unique things that you've done or you've seen other leaders do that you like, there's this sort of little just added ingredient that just makes it a sweet deal and keeps them engaged, that bond of excellence? Give us some examples for our listeners.
Yeah. So one of the questions I use at the very end is I ask them, and I read about this. These aren't all my ideas. I'm constantly reading, but one of the questions is at the very end, I say, okay, let's say everything were to go well and we extend you the offer and you accept, and a year has gone by and you come home one day and you think to yourself that taking this job was one of the best decisions you've ever made in your career. What would have had to happen in that year to make you feel that way? And that is really profound, because it lets the candidate know, again, that we care about their goals and what their focus is. And it also lets us know, what can we expect from them? What is their goal? What is their focus? And how are they going to impact, the company, positive or negative? And
good question. I like that.
Yeah, and I feel that it really sits well, and it's a good way to kind of close an interview, because interviews have kind of an ebb and flow, and if you go about it the right way, it being a nice, clean interaction.
It's the flip side of the question I ask usually. Okay, you take this job 90 days in, and you're going, oh shoot,
yeah,
big mistake. And then I ask him, what's the reason? Role playing here. What reason would be the number one reason that you might think, worst case scenario, this was a big mistake? And usually there's something on the tip of their tongue going, if ... happened, or if this was the situation, or if I found out your culture was this, or if I found out my manager was such and such. And it's really, really interesting, because then we can actually, let's talk about that. Where does that fear come from? And I think how do I eliminate it?
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head too. Let's talk about that. Whenever you get a response back, you want to dive in, and I think that's a great thing that you said, is that let's talk about it. That's a really powerful phrase in an interview, because it opens it up, and I think that's fantastic.
What it really shows is that it shows that you care about the candidate, right? And candidate experiences is kind of where we're talking about right now, is that it shows that, hey, fast forward a year or 90 days, what would make this an amazing experience, and what would make this an awful experience? And so to have that question communicates volumes that you're actually thinking about it, that you, I believe, are an employer of choice. Right. And so, whether that they accept the offer or not, they come away thinking, wow, they were thoughtful around this being a good next step for me, clearly superior than what I'm currently doing. And it sounds like that kind of question really gets to the heart of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good. Well, okay. So talk to me a little bit, because we're talking about, the candidate experience, which is, coming from an angle of really trying to understand with empathy, what does the candidate experience? I mean, it's kind of self-naming here, but you think about marketing in that way, right? Marketing and sales, right? How does that framework, if at all, play into your talent acquisition strategy when you think about the candidate experience?
Absolutely. So, a few years ago, everybody was saying that marketing was the future of recruitment and talent acquisition. They're saying, oh, that in 2 years this is what it's going to be, and it's now. That is very much what's going on today, and marketing plays a huge role in what we do. And one of those ways is in the job description. Most times employers will just post a list of what the job duties. It's very plain, it's very simple, and it can be a little bit boring. And we want to think of it from a marketing perspective. Like, for example, like Nike, when they build a shoe, they when they do their advertisement, they show somebody running early in the morning, through the park, super fit, jumping over puddles. They're not telling you that it's a 3-inch rubber sole. It's got cotton laces. It's flexible. They're showing the person where this can take them, what they can accomplish, what they can do. And so what we do is we take that same ideology and put it into the job description. So we cannibalize like the legal JD that we have, people sign when they as part of their onboarding, and we turn it into an advertisement. So, instead of like job, about this job, it's, your impact. And we explain to the candidate, you will be able to do this, you will interact with this, you will accomplish this, you will have the opportunities to work with some of the best healthcare professionals, in the world, and cutting edge treatment modalities. And things like that to draw them in so that they see themselves being successful, or they see themselves succeeding in the job. And then, we give the job duties, and we make sure that we keep them interesting, that they're exciting, and kind of keep it short, but ultimately, promoting that dream of, what you can do and how, your career, how fulfilling this career path is going to be for you. I think that's one of the strongest things we do.
Brilliant.
It's it just you're speaking our language here, Ken. It's one of the things through research is what sets apart the difference and the delta between A players and B's and C players, and then how do they make their career moves? Because A players make career moves very differently than C players. C players run from things, A players run to things. And if I'm going to run to it, I need to know 3 things. I need to know, is this job bigger than I've ever done before? Because I'm not just going to come for a vanilla, boring, lateral move, because I'm not running from something. I already got something good going on. I'm going to make a move if it's bigger than I've done before. And then year 1 and beyond, the future is what you're talking about here. Who do I become? What's the next challenge for me? Because if I go from one step of stretch to the next stretch, you better show me where I'm going to be stretched in 18 months' time. Because by that point, I want to take on a new challenge. So you got to show me where you're going as an organization, how I fit into it. And thirdly, impact. Like, tell me about the impact of me making this move on me and the world around me. Because I want impact to happen to me, but I also want to make an impact on the world, because that's the difference between A players and C players. And so I think you hit it right there. And then we bring all that together in the employee value proposition, right? Why would an A player want to leave their great gig and come over to this new opportunity for this role? Which is, I mean, it's a great, I'm glad to hear you're talking. I love the Nike analogy there, because it's about this experience. What will I experience? Who will I become? And tell me about impact. I love hearing that you guys are all over that. So many companies are still struggling with that. Many companies are still struggling with the laundry list of duties when it comes to job descriptions, rather than telling a story of where we're going and how we need you to solve a problem for us. Because A players are problem solvers. Like, I want to fix something. I want to make something better. I want to transform something. Yeah. It's great.
Well, and it goes back to, people make decisions with their emotions, but they back it up with facts, with their mind, right? And so what you're doing is you're appealing to the emotion, be like, oh, impact. Yeah, I want impact. purpose, meaning, mastery, right? It's the whole, it's what Daniel Pink in his book Drive, he kind of was hinting at. It's like, hey, these are the motivators, right? I mean, it's not just about the money. It's about mastery, it's meaning, it's purpose, it's all of these things, Ken. So it's brilliant that you're bringing this in to your kind of the ecosystem of your talent acquisition strategy. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, and it's a two-part deal. So you've got the advertisement on the the job ad, but then you got to back it up with a good career site that really drives that message home on your corporate site. You've almost got to have the same mission that you have for your company. You have to have a similar mission to your employees, a promise to your employees that you follow that mission. Similar to where, like for us, we have a mission to our patients and the kind of care that we stand by. We have to have a similar, mission for the employees. So the marketing has to, go in two directions, and the people that are doing it the best. And a lot of this isn't, original. This is just me, researching and looking at who's doing the best. And tech companies are leading the way in this. Salesforce has an amazing career website where they talk about that it's not just a job that you get to come and do, and the success isn't happening because of a brand name. It's because of you. It's because of the things you do. It's what makes us unique, and what exactly like what makes the employees unique. And they talk about that, and they showcase everything that the employees do, not only on the job, but also outside of the job. And they show that work-life balance, and they show that common vision of everything that they're doing is going towards this, awesome vision that ultimately helps improve people's lives. And people want that more than anything in the world. Tech companies have it down so well. They do it great. Another company, so I said Salesforce, Twitter is doing a great job with that too. And you go directly to their site and you get to see exactly what's going on. Indeed is the same way that on their diversity and inclusion. It's incredible the steps that they've taken to just show that this is a place, this is a safe place, and this is a place you can call home. And that's what people want more than anything in the world. They want to know that their company is aligned with them, and that their company is in line with a mission that means something. And 100%. If you can showcase that, you've got something really special. And tech companies are doing a great job, and that's why they do what they do.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Love it. Lots of gems in here. Really appreciate it. Ken, it's good to have you here with us today. One last question, curveball. Well, it's not really a curveball, but who's somebody who's been a massive influence to you in your career, professionally or personally, that's shaped you who you are today? Who's a big influence to you? Who is it?
Oh my gosh, there's so many people.
We won't tell them that you mentioned them. Don't worry.
Yeah, there's so many people that I look up to. It's a combination of a lot of people. I would probably say my most recent boss at Acadia Healthcare. His name is Taft Brown, and he was just so open to new ideas, and he created an atmosphere where if we had an edge, a fringe idea, or an innovative idea where we weren't sure it was going to work, he would be more disappointed if we didn't take the shot, or we were too afraid to give it a try. He didn't care if we failed. He said, hey, that's one way we learn not to do it. And it's almost like Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Yeah. And I felt like he never really said it, but that was kind of the philosophy he created. So we were able to make a ton of mistakes, but also build something special that
beautiful.
Wasn't done before. And we couldn't have done it without having that safety net saying, just do it. And if you fail, learn, and then try it again, and just keep on going. And without that atmosphere, I couldn't be where I am today.
So good. I love the impact of influence. People influence every day, some by choice, some not by choice. But I love to hear these stories. So thanks so much for being here today, Ken. on Titus Talent Talks. It is a resource to challenge, to inspire, to help one another grow, and most importantly, that we're in this together. We're in this life together. It's not just global pandemic. We're in it together. We're in it together when all this is done. It is a community of people looking how we can serve one another and service the world to be a better place. So thanks a lot to have you here, joining us here today, Ken. Thank you, Kris Hamilton, one of our directors here at Titus Talent Strategies. Join us next time for Talent Talks. Thanks a lot.